October the 2nd, 2017 will go down in my life as a horrible day that I'll always remember for a couple of reasons. First reason was because we were reeling and panicking and getting very sad about the massacre that occurred in Las Vegas, Nevada, where a crazy gunman shot 58, 59 people and killed them and wounded over 500 others. And during that particular day, I was having the talk radio news on all day and listening to talk shows where people were sharing their grief. It was very rough. Later in the day, around 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I heard on a news report that Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, had been found unconscious and then rushed to a hospital and went into cardiac arrest. Very shortly thereafter, scrambling around listening to news reports and talking with people on the internet, found out that Petty was brain dead and on life support, and eventually was taken off life support, and Tom Petty is now dead. This particular death of Tom Petty reminded me very much of the situation I felt in 1980 with John Lennon. Because with John Lennon, it was much the same situation. It came as a surprise out of nowhere. The man was too young. We didn't expect it. It wasn't a lingering disease. It wasn't cancer. It wasn't a person who was in their 90s. It was a younger person, and we heard the details as they were gradually found, and they were presented to the media a little at a time, wondering what was going to happen. So for people, younger people who were not around when John Lennon died, I'd say John Lennon's death was times 100 compared to this, but this still was the closest death of a person I liked and admired. It was a celebrity. Closest memory to John Lennon, closest thing I can identify with. Now, I was a Tom Petty fan. I'm still a Tom Petty fan. I'm not a Tom Petty fanatic in the sense of I'm not a completist, but I always admired Tom Petty. I always thought he was one of the great rock stars. Always thought he's one of the last of the great rock stars we have left. So this was very much of a blow to me. And even though this is some time later, this is hours after the fact, I'm still kind of shaken up about it. I thought I would just, show you a little bit of my collection. I don't have everything by Tom Petty, but I do have some items here. And I just want to say again, I'm very distraught about this. It was a rough day in between the massacre in Nevada. Here, dealing with that on the same day that we heard about a sudden death of Tom Petty and being brain dead and unresponsive and all that kind of thing. I don't know what else I can really offer. I didn't know that much about Tom Petty's personal life. I'm finding out now. I'm reading that his father abused him very badly, verbally and physically. I didn't realize that he had sought to drugs. He said he went into heroin in the 90s, which is always a mistake. But according to a quote from Petty that I heard, that was the only thing that could numb his pain, he said. Even though he said it was stupid, I think, to do. And he had problems with his first marriage and his first wife. And so he had a little bit of, to say the least, down times in his life and difficulties. But the music is what lives on. I'm going to show you what I have here. I have first album with Tom Petty, Heartbreakers. The first time I think became aware of Tom Petty was with the Damn the Torpedoes album in 1979. I think this is probably, for me, the album that I remember best, and it has a lot of songs I really like from here. And then, of course, we had the song The Waiting that came off the Hard Promises album. My favorite Tom Petty song that strikes a nerve with me was a song from this album, Long After Dark. The name of the song is You Got Lucky. That's probably my favorite Tom Petty song, although it's very hard to say because I really do like a lot of Tom Petty tunes. But this particular song, You Got Lucky, it's kind of like an anthem for me at the time. You know, when it was out, I was like 20, 21 years old, and I was with a girlfriend that's split up with me, and that song was very popular at the time, and I kind of related to it. It's kind of how I felt, you know. Then we have Southern Accents. Don't Come Around Here No More. And of course, Rebel. Always love this song, Jammin' Me, from the album Let Me Up, I've Had Enough. It's one of my favorite Tom Petty songs. There are way too many. I have so many favorite Tom Petty songs, I really can't name them all. Then this is an album that, of course, was maybe my favorite Tom Petty album of them all, the solo album, Full Moon Fever, with a ton of hits on here. Free Fallin', I Won't Back Down, Running Down a Dream. So many great songs on here. You're So Bad, Love Is a Long Road. I mean, and this was also a special time in my life. I mean, in 1989, when this was released, I was going through actually a very positive period in my life, and I found a woman at the time who would be my wife eventually. And anyway, this was really just a good celebratory album. This came along at just the right time in my life, and I always think of happy times with that. And lastly, I have two compact disc collections. We have this one here, Greatest Hits, which has that wonderful song on it that I love, one of my favorite Tom Petty songs. It's Mary Jane's Last Dance, which I think is a great video too. Really, really fun video. I use the word fun loosely because it's kind of morbid, but it's an interesting video. And this has a lot of hits on it. And I picked this up too. What is this called? The Anthology Through the Years. This is a multi-disc set that has just about everything you'd want on it. And I know a lot of people are going to be suggesting that there's a lot of other Tom Petty albums I should get, like the Mudcrutcher album and Hypnotic Eye and whatever else I'm missing. I think it's another one, Wildflowers. I think I will get to that because I really like Tom Petty. And of course, I also have his Traveling Wilburys stuff, which I didn't show. He was in with Roy Orbison, who we also lost, and George Harrison, who we also lost, and you know, Bob Dylan, Jeff Lynne. Anyway, just wanted to express my feelings. We lost one of the greats in rock and roll. Take care.